Hello guys, myself Shraddha Gajjar and I am going to teach you about the digestive system or human gastrointestinal tract, or we can say the GI tract in part of the anatomy and physiology. This is the educational video. It is very helpful for you. If you like my video, then you can like the video and please subscribe my channel for more videos. First we will see which are the organs in the digestive tract. You can see in the figure, first one is a mouth, then salivary gland, then esophagus, after that stomach, after that the small intestine, then large intestine. In large intestine there is appendix, then the rectum, anus, then liver, gallbladder and pancreas. So these are the general organ which is related to digestive system. Now we are moving towards the next slide. Now we will see the function of the digestive system. In that, the first function is the ingestion, second is secretion, then mixing and propulsion, then the digestion, then absorption, and then the defecation, or we can say the elimination. So these are the function of the digestive system. Now we will see in detail. First one is ingestion. So what is the meaning of ingestion? Food will be ingested by the mouth. Food might be liquid form or in solid form. So ingestion will be taking food into the mouth. Second one is a secretion. Total about 7 liter fluid into the lumen. The secretion of the gastrointestinal tract, that will be 7 liter into the lumen. Then the mixing of the food by the GI muscle as well as the peristalsis movement of the GI tract. You can see in figure, this is the peristalsis movement. This is a wave-like movement of the muscles that will be helpful for the mixing of the food as well as the movement of the food or propulsion of the food. Next function, that is the digestion. Digestion means the breakdown of the ingested food. There will be two types of the digestion. First one is a mechanical as well as chemical. You will see in detail. Then absorption. Absorption means what? Passage of the nutrients or food that is very helpful for the body and that will be absorbed into the blood. Next function, that is the defecation, or we can say the elimination. What is the meaning of defecation? To remove the waste product from the body. So in defecation there will be waste substance leave the GI tract through the anus. So these all are the function of the digestive system. Now we are moving towards the next slide. First we will see the organ of the digestive system. In that, first one is a mouth, or we can say the oral cavity. After that there is a tongue. Then there is three salivary glands. First one is a parotid gland. Second one is a sublingual glands. Third one is a submandibular glands. After that there is a pharynx. Then esophagus. Then the stomach, that is the reservoir of the food. On the right side of the stomach there is a liver, and inferiorly there is a gallbladder. After that there is a small intestine. In the small intestine, first part that is the duodenum, second part that is the jejunum, and third part that is the ileum. After the ileum there is a large intestine. You can see in figure the part of the large intestine, that is the ascending colon, then transverse colon, then the descending colon, then the sigmoid colon, then rectum, appendix, and anal canal, or last end of the digestive system, that is the anus. So this is all about the organs of the digestive system. Now we will start the digestive system. The digestive system consists of an alimentary canal and several accessory organs. Okay, it is alimentary canal. We can say that is the alimentary canal, or it has several accessory organs. So this is the organs of the alimentary canal. We already know. These are the accessory organs of the digestive system, that is a liver, gallbladder and pancreas. So there is a three pairs of Now we will see the walls of the alimentary tracts are formed by the four layers of the tissue. That is, the first one is the adventitia, or we can say the serosa. Serosa is always outer covering. Then second layer, that is the muscle layer. Third is a submucosa, and fourth one is a mucosa, that is the inner layer. You can see in the figure, okay, outer layer, that is the serosa, or we can say the adventitia. Second, that is the muscular layer, or third one is a submucosa, and last one is a mucosa, that is the inner layer. Okay, so these are the lining or walls of the alimentary tract or GI tract. Now first we will see the adventitia or serosa. This is the outermost layer in the thorax. It consists of the loose fibrous tissue, and in abdomen the organs are covered by a serous membrane, that is the serosa, or we can say the peritoneum. Okay, in abdomen it is called the peritoneum, or it is outer layer of the organ, that is the serosa. Now we will see what is the peritoneum. Peritoneum, it is the largest serous membrane of the body. It is a closed sac containing a small amount of serous fluid within the abdominal cavity. It has rich supply with the blood and lymph vessels and contain many lymph nodes. It also provides a physical barrier to local spread of infection, as well as can isolate an infective focus such as the appendicitis. Okay, now it has two layers. First one is a parietal peritoneum, second one is a visceral peritoneum. Okay, the parietal peritoneum which lines the abdominal wall, and the visceral peritoneum which covers or lining of the organ. So there will be two types of peritoneum, that is the parietal peritoneum which is lies on the abdominal wall, and then peritoneum that covers the organ or viscera within the abdominal and pelvic cavity. Now the muscle layer. This consists of the two layers of the smooth muscle, that is the involuntary muscles. The muscle fibers of the outer layers are arranged in longitudinally, and inner layer that is encircle the wall of the tube. So there is two layers in the muscle layer. First one is a outer layer, second is inner layer. Outer layer that contain the longitudinal fibers, and inner layer that contain the circular fibers. Between these two muscle layers there are blood vessels, lymph vessels, and a plexus of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. This plexus is called the myenteric plexus, or we can say the Orbach plexus. Okay, so in muscle layer there is two layers, outer layer, inner layer. Okay, outer layer that is longitudinal muscle, and inner layer there is the circular muscle, and between these muscles there is Orbach plexus. The contraction and relaxation of these muscle layers occurs in waves, or which push the content of the tract outwards. This type of the contraction of smooth muscles is called the peristalsis. Okay, so now you can understand what is for peristalsis. There will be contraction and the relaxation of the muscle layers, which occurs in the form of the waves. These will push the content or food in the tract, that is the forward manners. So this type of the contraction and relaxation of smooth muscle, that is called the peristalsis, and this is the wave-like movement. It is under the influence of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves. The muscle contraction also makes the fluid with the digestive juice. Okay, due to the peristalsis, there will be the mixing of the fluids and the propulsion of the onward movement of the content of the tract is controlled at various points by the sphincters, which are thickened ring of the circular muscles. Okay, some type of the movement that is controlled at various point in GI tract, we can say these point are, we can say these sphincters, or these sphincters are a thickened ring or circular muscles. The contraction of these pinchers regulate the forward movements. They also act as a valve, preventing the backflow into the track. So, due to this pincher closure, there will be prevention of the backflow into the track. So, we can say it prevents the regurgitation of the food. This control allows time for digestion and absorption to take place. Okay. By this time, there will be a digestion and absorption of the. Now, the submucosa. This is the layer consists of the loose areolar connective tissue which containing the collagen as well as the some elastic fibers which bind the muscle layers to the mucosa. Within it, there are the plexus of the blood vessels, nerves, lymph vessels, and varying amount of the lymphoid tissue. The blood vessels are arterioles and capillaries, etc. The nerve plexus is a submucosal plexus, or we can say the Meissner's plexus, containing sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves that will supply the mucosa. Now, the last or innermost layer, that is the mucosa. This consists of the three layers of the tissue you can see in the figures. Okay, first one is a mucous membrane, second one is a lamina propria, and third one is a muscularis mucosa. Okay, three layers are there in the mucosa. First one is a mucous membrane, second one is a lamina propria, third one is a muscularis mucosa. Now we'll see the first, that is the mucous membrane. It is formed by the columnar epithelium and that is the innermost layer. It has three main functions. That one is a protection, secretion and absorption. This is the inner layer of the GI tract. Okay. Second one is a lamina propria, which contain the loose connective tissue and these support the blood vessels that nourish the inner epithelial layer and varying amount of the lymphoid tissue that will protect the lining. The third one is a muscularis mucosa, that is the thin outer layer of the smooth muscles that provide involution of the mucosa layer, that is the gastric glands. Okay, in third layer there will be the gastric gland, in second layer there will be a epithelial layer and it has a lymphoid tissue and blood vessels. First one is the mucous membrane. The main function is the secretion of the GI fluid, protection and the absorption of the nutrients. So these are the three layers of the mucosa. Now the mucous membrane, okay, it is the part of the tract that are subject to great wear and tear or mechanical injury. It is very helpful for the prevention of the injury, and there will be a wear and tear. This layer consists of the stratified squamous epithelium with the mucus secreting glands just below the surface. In the areas where the food is already soft and moist and where the secretion of the digestive juice and absorption occur. The mucus is lubricate the walls of the tract as well as the protect them from the mechanical injury like the damaging effect to the digestive enzymes. Below the surface, in the regions lined with the columnar epithelium, are collection of the specialized cell or glands which release their secretion into the lumen. Now the secretion include, first one is a saliva from the salivary glands, then gastric juice from the gastric glands, then the intestinal juice that from the intestinal glands, then the pancreatic juice from the pancreas and bile from. Now we will see the nerve supply of the whole GI tract, that is the nerves from the both division of the autonomic nervous system and both parasympathetic and sympathetic parts. When the digestion is required, that is normally through increased activity of the parasympathetic. So this is all about the just overview and lining and the layers of the GI tract. Now in next video we will see the parts of the digestive system and the anatomy and physiology of the organs related to the digestive tract. Hello guys, I have made video for you. This is the educational video as a part of anatomy and physiology. If you like my video, then please subscribe my channel and like the video. Thank you.